Hello dear students, so as you know, whenever the tests come on NT Abhyas, the solutions you can find every time on my channel. So the chapter wise tests that have been released by NT Abhyas, I have brought the two tests before also. The one test was remaining, and today I am releasing the analysis and solutions of the test of the physical world and measurement test 1 given on the app on the NEET section. Now regarding this test, the test is generally this has a question which are I think more difficult than what is usually being asked in the NEET examination, and plus there are 2-3 ambiguities in the paper, especially the one concept where you have to get the error in the parallel combination of resistors. The way they have given the answer, I don't agree with them. So they have just copy pasted it from some net source which you can do by Google search, but that is not the right thing to do. So I have explained it in that paper itself. But all in all, it's a nice way to just if you are free in the lockdown, you can attempt the paper. Otherwise, I think your institute's paper on this particular topic would be might be more fruitful for you. So let's see what is in the paper, and keep tuned to this channel. I'll be bringing in the revision series which is remaining of the chapters which I haven't covered last year. I will be covering very shortly, as the lockdown is giving me some time to again invest on this channel and for you. Thank you. So let's begin. Question number 1. The refractive index of a material is given by the equation n is a plus b by lambda square, where a and b are constant. The dimensional formula for b is, so you know a and b must have same dimension because they are added. So right, I can say the dimensional formula of n must be equal to dimensional formula of b by lambda square. Now n is refractive index, which you all know is the ratio of the speeds, so it is a dimensionless thing. Lambda square, that is a distance, so you can directly say the dimension of b is lambda square, that is L2. So going by the options, go for option D, M0 L2 T0. That's an easy one for you. Next, the frequency of vibration of mass m suspended from the spring of constant k is given by C m to the power x k to the power y, where c is a dimensionless constant. So the value of x and y. So you all know that for SHM time period of a spring block system, you all know is t is equal to 2 pi root m by k. So frequency you know is equal to 1 upon 2 pi root k by m. So because it's a general expression, we all knew it. So no point in going by that dimensional approach. Directly you can do, save your time. So that k power would be 1 by 2, m power would be minus 1 by 2. So go for option B as per this. Next, the only mechanical quantity which has negative dimension of mass is, okay, angular momentum you know is mvr, it won't have. Torque is rf, f is equal to ma, so won't. Coefficient of thermal conductivity and gravitational constant. So coefficient of thermal conductivity you write as dq by dt is equal to what you have, k times delta t by L, that is basically Ka delta T by L. So again I think for the mass, Q is energy, no, it won't have mass in inverse. Now gravitational constant you know G would be, that is Fr square upon m square, so it will have the dimensional negative dimensions of mass. So go for option D in this case. Next, in the gas equation, that's a standard question, you have P plus A by V square equal to RT, the dimensions of AR. You can directly say P plus A by V square means these two will have same dimension. So dimension of A would be P times V square. P is what, force upon area, and volume square you have. So forces, I always say my student to remember this, you know this is ml t minus 2, mass times acceleration. Area is L square, V square is L to the power 6. So what we are left with, this is M, and this would be, if you do it, would be L to the power 5, T to the power minus 2. Go for option C. Next one. The force F, length L, time T are assumed to be the fundamental units, and the dimensional formula of mass will be, okay. So just if you remember, F is we wrote just a while before, it is mlt minus 2. So for what is mass, so I can directly say mass in terms of these would be F, L to the power minus 1, T to the power 2. You can directly make it out, go for option A. Otherwise you can go by that standard approach, taking it as F to the power X, L to the power Y, T to the power Z, and solving. It's a better direct time saving method, you can say. The quantity is given by epsilon naught L dV by d delta V by dt, where epsilon naught is space permittivity, L is length, delta V is a potential difference, delta T is a time interval. The dimensional formula for X is same as that given by. So what is X? X is given as epsilon naught L delta V by delta T. Okay. So now L is what you say is length. Okay, L is length, V is the potential difference. So potential difference multiplied by length. Okay, delta V into L divided upon delta T, and that into epsilon naught. So what we can make it out from here. Now looking at the options, I just recall, if I can recollect what is the Gauss law. It says flux is Q by epsilon naught. So what is flux? Flux you say is E into A, and V you say V is equal to ED. So I can write E as V by D into area. Okay, and that multiplied by epsilon naught, that would be equal to what we can say, that is equal to Q. So going by this A into D, this is length, and this would be L square. So VL epsilon naught, this is basically what I am getting it as charge. So this dimension would be this Q by delta T, charge upon time, and charge upon time is equal to electric current. So that is the thing that I can make it out. Otherwise you can solve the complete dimensions, that would be a lengthy approach, but these things work if you can recollect that thing very fast. Okay, next. In an experiment, the angles are required to be measured using an instrument. 29 divisions of the main scale coincide with 30 divisions of the vernier scale. So what we have, 29S is equal to 30 times V. S is the value of 1 MSD, V is the value of 1 main scale division, if you remember that. If the smallest division of the main scale is half a degree, then the least count, least count is S minus V. So for V I can write it as 29S by 30, it comes out as S by 30. So it is 0.5 degree divided by 30. So it is 0.5 degree divided by 30. So I can write it as 1 degree by 60, and 1 degree by 60, that would be basically 1 minute that you typically write in the context. So it would be option A, that you can write it as 1 minute. Next. Student performs an experiment to determine Young's modulus of a wire exactly 2 meter long by Searles apparatus or the Searles method. In a particular reading, the student measures the extension in the length of the wire to be 0.8 mm with this uncertainty and at a load of exactly 1 kg. Student also measured the diameter to be this with uncertainty this. Take G equal to 9.8 meter per second square. The Young's modulus obtained from the reading is going to be. Okay, so this is how you need to remember this. So Young's modulus is a stress upon strain, that is force upon area divided by delta L by L. So what you have this as FL upon A delta L. Here the force is mg, length of the wire you are given L, A is, you can write it as pi d square by 4 into extension that say is delta L. So what we have only error is given in diameter and in which thing, in the diameter and okay, and the extension. Okay, so these two things. So first of all, putting the values, what is the expected value? I typically call it as the expected value. So mg is going to be the value of the mass. If it is given, I think I am missing somewhere. What is the value of the mass? The value of the mass, I think 1 kg. Okay, so 1.0 into 9.8, length is 2 meter exact, pi by 4 into d square, 0.4 square, that is 0.16 into 10 to the power minus 6, and the extension is 0.8 mm into 10 to the power minus 3. So going by this, what's the typically value we are getting? Everything is 2, so we are okay, so no point in getting it. You can directly calculate. All options suggest this value would be this much. Now regarding uncertainty, so because the error depends on these two quantity, what I can write, delta y by y would be delta L by L plus twice of delta d by d. Since error will always increase the error. So delta y by y, which is 2.2 into 10 to the power 11, delta L by L. So what is delta L by L? 0.05 upon 0.8. Okay. Delta d by d, what is delta d by d? That is 0.4 and 0.01. So 0.01 upon 0.4. That is what we get. Okay. So what we have now, so if I solve it, this is 5 by 80. 5 by 80 means 1 by 16, if I am right. Yes. Plus 0.02 by 4, that is 2 by what I can say, it would be 2 by 4 or 2 by 40. 2 by 40 is 1 by 20. So taking the LCM, this would be 85 and 4, 9. So delta y would be 9 into 2 by 80 into 10 to the power 11. So it is 9 by 40. 9 by 40 would be approximately, I think that would be 9 by 40 is 0.2 something 0.225. So I think as per the significant figures, this should be the most appropriate value that I should be writing. So 2.0 plus 0.2 plus minus 0.2 into 10 to the power 11. So it's a slightly calculative one. I don't expect such questions specifically in NEET, but whatever, let it be given. Circular scale of a screw gauge has 50 division and a pitch of 0.5 mm. Pitch is given, division is given. So first of all, least count you know is pitch upon number of divisions on the circular scale upon 50 division. So basically what you get 1 by 100 mm. Okay, so this would be 0.01 mm. That is what you have the least count. Now the main scale reading is 2. So just let me see what it wants to depict in this picture. So from the picture it seems that the zero error is nothing, no zero error, and now it is 2 and this reading is 25. That is 25 it is given or not, what it is? Yes, it is 25. So it is 2 full divisions, that would be 2 into 0.5 mm plus what you have 25 divisions into 0.01. So what you have 1 mm here plus 0.25 mm here. So the reading would be, what you can say is 1.25 mm. That is what I can make it out. So go for option B. But here the main scale reading is 2. Now it is a slightly typical. It could be 2.25, it could be, you can say it could be 1.25. I think it should be written whether it is 2 or 2 mm, because nothing is seen here. So I can go for both the options. My first inclination was for 1.25, but the answer I can see they have given us as 2.25. So they have taken 2 to be the value, main scale reading. I have taken 2 to be the division, so that will depend what you will write here. So slight ambiguity. Let's move on. Next, the percentage error in the measurement of length and time period of a simple pendulum of 1% and 2% respectively. Then the maximum error in the measurement of acceleration due to gravity is, you know the formula. Such question is given in your NCERT. G you know is 4 pi square L by T square. So for the error, delta G by G is delta L by L plus twice the error fractional in time period. So delta L by L is 1%. This would be 2 into 2%. So slightly easy one for you. You will go with option D. That would be 5% here. Next one. The value of the two resistors are given, the percentage error in the equivalent resistance when they are connected in parallel. Now for the parallel, the thing is not that easy. Now this always gives some heartbeats to the students. Just let me tell you, the standard way of doing is, 1 upon Rp is 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2. So if I differentiate it, what I can get for small changes, delta Rp by Rp square. For error, I have always add them, delta R1 by R1 square plus delta R2 by R2 square. This is the way you should always be doing, not the way that is being given in the NTA solution. They have just copy pasted from some of those, those YouTubes, or what you can say, some sites which I don't know how they prepare solution. So don't go by this. This is the way of doing this. Now what is the expected value of Rp that I can calculate? That would be 1 by 6 plus 1 by 10, taking the expected values. This LCM is 30, this would be 5 plus 3. So this will give me R equivalent equal to 30 by 8 or 15 by 4. I can write it like this. Okay, now, so substitute it here, delta Rp upon Rp square. So I need percentage error, so I can write it as Rp into 1 upon Rp. So 1 upon Rp I can write it as 15 by 4 like this. This is the percentage error I'll get. Delta R1 is 0.3 square, I'll do it would be 36. 0.2 or delta R2 square I'll get 100. So what I get, delta Rp by Rp, that is my fractional error, that what I will get, 0.3 over 36 plus 0.2 over 100 multiplied by 15 over 4. That is what I am getting here. So just do it, 0.3 by 36. So 0.3 by 36, if I simplify it, I can write it as 1 by 120, and at this I can simplify as 2 by 1000 into 15 by 4 if you want to do it like this. So if I do this, it would be taking that zero thing out of the question, or we can have it as let's say taking the not LCM, let's say 1200, I can take the base, it would be 10 and it would be 1.2. So 1.2 into 2 would be 2.4 into 15 over 4, and if you have to do in percentage, do it at 100%. So what you have now, 12.4 upon 1200 into 15 over 4 into 100%. This 100 and this double zero goes. So what we are left with, this is 3.1, 15 into 3.1, that would be 15 ones are
15, 15 threes are 45, so it would be 46.5 divided by 12%. So I think it would be roughly around 3 point something or 4%, and there's no option like this. So this would be my answer. I don't agree with the answer, and I'll advise you to not to agree. That is not the nice solution done by NTA, and that is the problem, because I think they have outsourced it to someone without any much quality checks over the solution and the things. So move ahead. Student performs an experiment for determination of G. L is 1 meters. He commits an error of delta L. For T, he takes the time of n oscillations with the stopwatch of least count delta T and commits a human error of 0.1 second. For which of the following data the measurement of G will be most accurate? So you know, we still did it a time before, delta L by L plus delta T by T multiplied by 2. Okay. So in delta T by T, what I can have, it would be 0.1 upon, this is delta T is 0.1, you know, and n is 20. N is 20 means if you are taking it as 1 meter, the time period typically comes out as 2 seconds. That's called the seconds pendulum. So I will take as T as 2. So if n is 20, this T would be n times the time period of single oscillation. So 20 into 2 would be 40. And delta L by L would be what you have, 0.5 upon 1. This is for the first case. For the second case, it would be 0.5 upon 1 plus 2 times 0.1 upon 50 means 100. 50 into 2, so it would be lesser error. In the third one, what he has, 0.5 upon 1 plus 2 times 0.01 upon 20, that is 40. Okay, so this translates to, I'll better write it as 0.1 by 400. That would be better one for me to compare. And the last one is 0.1 by 1. Here there's change, plus twice of 0.05 upon 50 into 2, that would be 100. So going out of these, you know, this one is minimum, and if I calculate it, it would be 0.5 plus what I have, 0.2 upon 4000. Okay, and here it would be 0.1 plus 0.1 by 100. Definitely this is going to be less than the above one, so the least error I feel is in the option D. That is the least error. You can directly make it out. Next, the wavelength associated with a moving particle depends upon power P of its mass, Qth power of its velocity, Rth power of Planck's constant in the correct sense. You know this, lambda is h by mv. Nothing to do it, you can directly go for it. So the power of h, that is R, is 1, so this is rejected. M is minus 1, Q is minus 1, so only, no, this is already rejected. This one, this option D is the only possible choice here. Next one, linear momentum, angular momentum have the same dimensions in, okay, one is mv and one is mvr, so they will have same dimension in mass. You can make it out. And for length, no, they won't have in length, they might have in time. So it would be mass and time, not the length. Go for option C. Next one, in the equation, this, you know, the dimensional formula of S nth is, now you know this is the wrong way of writing this equation. It is u into 1 second, because when you do it, it would be n minus 1 plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1 into 1. So you know this is displacement, so don't get confused by it. Go by this is length, not anything else. Okay, going by exactly by the formula, you might get confused, but we know what it means. Otherwise, if you don't know this, I think the answer then will become C. Next, V is a by t plus bt square plus ctq. V is velocity, t is time, are constant, and dimensional formula of B is, so V is bt square dimensionally. So the dimensional formula of B is V by t square. V is lt minus 1 upon t2, that is lt minus 3. Go for it. That's an easy one for you. Very straightforward question for all of you. Next one, a sextant is used to measure. Now this is simply a thing that if you remember, you remember. If you don't remember, you have to leave it. It is the angle between the objects. It is a doubly reflecting navigation instrument used to measure the angle between any two visible objects. That is what I am reading from the NTA one, because this is depends on you whether you know it or not. Next, electron volt is the unit of energy. You know the binding energy of electron in the first orbit is this. The same in joule would be 13.6 into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. That's not a tough one for you. So 16 6 are 96. 16 3s are 48 and 9 57. 16 1s are 16. 16 plus 5 would be 21. So 21.76 into 10 to the power minus 19 joules. Go for option B. Next, a physical quantity is x is m a l b t minus c. If percentage error are this, then the total percentage error is, you always know errors always add up, they never subtract down, so it will always be additive. That's the easy thing for you. Next, focal length is this, the maximum relative error in f is. So again, the way I told you, the way I advise you to do this is not the right way of doing the things, because here they have treated it as a wrong concept. Ideally, if it is 1 by, it should be delta f by f square should be equal to delta u by u square plus delta v by v square. That should be the most appropriate option here. Otherwise, like the people do, you can add this thing, this and this, actually there should be plus here, and if you do this error in this thing basically, so it comes out as d in that case. But I again don't agree with these kind of things. The better one would be like this. Next, percentage error in mass and speed are this. How much will the percentage estimate of kinetic energy? K is half mv square. So for percentage error calculation, it is the error in mass, directly fractional error, you will add and 2 times the velocity, so it is 2% plus 2 into 3%, so it basically turns out to be 8%. That's an easy one. Now the next, the value of 0.99 minus 0.989. So here there is two significant figures, here we have 3 significant figures, so this would be the least one. So the answer should have 2 significant figures after the decimal. So after decimal, if I look at 2 significant figures, here it is only 1, here it is 2, here it is 1, here it is 1, so there would be only this much. So if you solve it, it should be in the 2 significant figures, the answers are almost all are same, but the thing is it should have 2 significant figures, so we'll go with option B. So please, I'll request all of you to revise this significant figures thing, because what I find most of the students are not very comfortable, especially the NEET students, because while I was checking in last 33 or 34 years, there are only a single question being asked using the significant figures, so that could be the reason. Now, rectangular beam which is supported at its two ends and leaded in the middle with weight W sags by an amount delta. This is the formula given in NCERT in your elasticity topic. This is length, diameter, Young's modulus, respectively depth. Guess the unknown factor using dimensional considerations. So what is this unknown factor? What is this unknown factor? I think the LW. So I think it is talking about what is the unknown factor? I think it would be this delta, I think. So it is sagging, so it's unknown amount. I think this is the unknown factor, I suppose. So basically we have to check this ultimately what is the value of this thing. What is unknown? I am not getting it. An amount delta such that this is WL cube upon 4y d cube. So some unknown, I don't know what is the unknown factor. Okay, there's some factor which is missing. Okay, so let me take it to be that factor x something, or what it is still. So I've checked it again, and on checking I found there should be some question mark, and here is that unknown quantity that we wish to calculate what is the value. So that unknown thing, now that would be equal to what we have, that would be W L cube upon 4y and d cube or square, let me do it, d cube. Okay, so that is d cube upon delta. So now take the dimensions. This W is your weight, that is the force, so mlt minus 2, this is L3. Okay, and what we have now, this is 4y, y is again the stress means this is 4 is dimensionless, stress is force upon area, that would be L square, d cube is L cube, and delta is a sag is basically L again. So this goes completely, this L cube goes completely. So what we are left with, I think we are left with only one thing, which is L here. So the answer must be L means it should be breadth. Again, the answer is also given wrong in the app, so it's too tough. Question is wrong, answer is wrong, so no issues. The next one, the number of particles given by n is minus d times n2 minus 7 upon x2 minus x1 are crossing a unit area perpendicular to x-axis in unit time. So this n is number of particles crossing unit area and unit time, so it would be, number is dimensionless, so it would be 1, and it would be area is L2, and time, that is 1 upon L2T. And now we have to, the N1 and N2 are the number of particles per unit volume, so dimension of D I don't know, but that dimension would be per unit volume, that is 1 upon L to the power 3, and x1 x2 are x, that means it is L. So the dimension of D, now what you will have, this would be L to the power 4, so it would be L2T minus 1. You can directly make it out. Go with option D. Just read the things carefully and you will get to the answers. Okay, so this was the 24th question. Next one. An important milestone in the evaluation of the universe just after the Big Bang is Planck's time T. Value depends on C, G and H. So Tp is proportional to, okay. So G is Fr square upon M square. F is MLT minus 2R square is L2. M square is M2. So what you know, its dimension is M minus 1 L3T minus 2. C is the speed of light, that is Lt minus 1, and H is Planck's constant energy upon frequency. Energy is ml2t minus 2 upon frequency t minus 1, so it becomes ml2t minus 1. So now you have to get the combination to get time period t. So it is t minus 2, t minus 1, t minus 1. So this is not, this will also not work because C5 upon GH won't work. GH upon C5, this won't work because let me check. GH, okay, so it would be T square. So T square and rest all are cancelling up. So it would be better go for option D. So if you do GH into C to the power 5, if you do G into H, when you do G into H, this M factor get cancelled and this L will also be cancelled in the whole thing and T only remains. Now this appears from NCERT itself. Calorie is 4.2 joules. Joules means energy, so unit is ml2t minus 2. Now instead of this, now you employ a system in which the unit is alpha kg, length is beta meters, time is gamma second. So what you will have using that n1 u1 equals n2 u2 thing that you usually use. So in this new system, the n2 value will become, I am comparing with joule, so it would be 1. Here the mass was 1 kg and here it will become alpha kg, and here it was 1 meter, here it will become beta meter to the power 2, and here it was 1 second, here it will become gamma second to the power minus 2. So what would become, n2 will become alpha minus 1, beta minus 2, and it will become gamma plus 2. That is what you will get. So what we have, 1 joule would be this much, alpha minus 1, beta minus 2, gamma plus 2, new system, whatever new unit you have. So 4.2 joules instead of 4.2 joules, you will now write calorie as 4.2 alpha minus 1, beta minus 2, gamma plus 2. Next one. A unit of area often used in measuring land areas is the hectare, defined as 10 to the power 4 meter square. Open pit coal mine consumes 75 hectare lands down to a depth of 26 meter each. What volume of earth will be removed in this time? So what you have, the volume you have to find in cubic kilometer. So volume would be area into depth. Area is 75 hectare, that is into 10 to the power 4 meter square into 26 meter. So what we have, 26 5s are 130, 26 7s are 130 and 52, 182 and 13, 195. So 1950 into 10 to the power 4 meter cube, and if I converted 1 kilometer cube is 10 to the power 9 meter cube. So what we basically, you will have 195 10 to the power 5 10 to the power minus 4 kilometers cube. So it is 0.0195 kilometers cube. So the closest one is 0.02 you will write. So go for option B in this particular case. Now the next one. The thrust developed by a rocket motor is given by F is equal to mv plus a times p1 minus p2, that is what you are given, where m is the mass of the gas ejected per unit time, v is the velocity of the gas, that means m is dm by dt, v is velocity of the gas, a is the area of cross section of the nozzle, p1 p2 are basically the pressure of the exhaust gas and surrounding atmosphere. The formula is, okay, so what is the formula, is it dimensionally correct or wrong? So F is dm by dt into v, that is okay, you know this is Vr dm by dt, thrust force you already know, and P into a, pressure into area. So formula is dimensionally correct, so there is no issue. I suppose the formula is perfectly right, so we'll go with option A. Yes, it is going to be dimensionally correct because both the things turns out to be the same, both are having the dimensions of force. Next one. The relation dv by dx is this much, and the dimensional formula for this, you know, this has to be dimensionless, so go for option D. That's again a very easy choice for you. And now to the last one. Among the given dimensionless physical quantity which has a unit, you know, that is strain, Reynolds number, angular displacement, you have unit in radians. So that is what you have. So that is about this paper. Thanks for watching.